Caravan Radio Audio Challenge.
Caravan Productions presents Zoo Detective by Barry Wood. It's a crisp spring morning at Hamilton Zoo, and several of the staff are having a quick cuppa before starting work. The zoo was set up in the 60s by keen naturalist Norman Hamilton, who tragically died just a few months after the doors first opened in 1966.
How did he die?
Excuse me?
How did he die? I'd heard it was some sort of accident.
I'm just the narrator. I'm not meant to converse with anyone.
Oh, right.
Can I carry on?
Knock yourself out.
Not content to open just a zoo, Norman Hamilton was keen to create...
So, do you know how he died?
I thought you were going to let me carry on.
I just wondered if you knew, that's all.
Who are you anyway?
Well, my name's Sheila. I work in the office here at the zoo. Admin and stuff.
Look, if I tell you how he died, will you stop interrupting me?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. As I understand it, he was mucking out the dingoes when Dave, the alpha male, attacked him. Apparently, he didn't stand a chance.
Was he naked at the time?
What?
Well, presumably that would have made him easier prey.
Why would he have been naked?
Well, you said he was a keen naturalist.
Yes, a person with an in-depth knowledge of plants and animals. You're thinking of naturist. I don't think Norman Hamilton wandered around naked.
I always got those two mixed up.
Are you going to keep quiet now? Otherwise, I'm never going to finish this introduction.
I don't care.
Not content to open just a zoo, Norman Hamilton was keen to create a leading centre for conservation in order to preserve some of the world's most endangered species. So, let's take a peek inside one of Britain's best-loved independent zoos as we join apprentice zookeeper Kate, head of conservation Peter, and incredibly annoying Sheila.
I heard that.
I don't care.
Guess how big the pencil was?
I don't know.
Kate,
No idea.
have a guess.
I don't know. 6 foot?
Guess again.
Oh, 100 miles.
Don't be daft. 8 metres. It was 8 metres, would you believe? That's over 26 feet in our money.
That is a big pencil, Peter.
One of the biggest in the world. Is Miriam in her office?
I think she's with Matthew at the ape house, checking on the new arrival.
Oh, damn, yes. Chandler the chimpanzee. I was supposed to meet them there. Chandler's from Chester Zoo, you know. Have you ever been to Chester?
Nope.
No, never been.
Beautiful city. Full of history. Its cathedral is 1,000 years old, with Europe's finest example of medieval carvings.
Interesting.
It's also home to the largest Roman amphitheatre in Britain.
Is it?
Shouldn't you be meeting up with Miriam?
Yes, right. I'll see you later.
See ya. Thank God for that. He is so boring. I don't know how Jane puts up with him.
Perhaps he's good in bed. Can you imagine? Tonight, Jane, I thought we'd try the crouching tiger. I'll lay on the bed with my knees off the edge while you squat over me facing away. And if you lean far enough forward, I can read this mum's copy of Model Tractor magazine while resting it on your back.
Whew, it's a bit nippy out there today.
Come on in, Ian. Kettle's just boiled. I'll make you a cup of tea.
Thank you, Sheila.
You're lucky. You just missed Peter.
Oh, how was his week in Cumbria? It's a beautiful part of the world.
Although the highlight, I believe, was a pencil museum he took his wife and kids to.
Sounds a bit dull.
Really? No doubt you'll hear all about it at some point.
I look forward to that.
There you go.
Thank you, Sheila.
There's a huge pencil on display in the museum, apparently. When Peter asks you to guess how big it is, and he will, say 8 metres.
Yeah, that should stop him in his tracks.
I don't know how his wife puts up with him.
Well, he's good in bed, apparently,
Oh, right.
according to Sheila.
Katie,
Oh, before I forget, Sheila, I ordered a few things from Amazon. They should be delivered to your office this afternoon. Could you let me know as soon as they arrive?
no problem.
Oh, is that the stuff for the stakeout?
Yes, a pop-up camouflage tent, night vision goggles, motion detectors and handcuffs.
Why do we need handcuffs?
To help detain the pygmies, of course.
Ian, you're a security guard, not a policeman.
Head of security, Kate.
Besides, these tunnels are not made by Congolese hunter-gatherers.
What on earth are you two talking about?
I'm assisting Ian on his latest case, the riddle of the burrows.
All right, you piqued my curiosity.
Yesterday, when I was topping up the feeding stations in the tropical aviary, I noticed a hole in the ground near the perimeter. Then on checking outside the enclosure, there were several other holes. Something had been burrowing into the aviary.
Why is that so intriguing? Couldn't it have been a mole or a rabbit?
No, the holes were too big for that. Now, Ian, perhaps you'd like to tell Sheila what you think has dug these tunnels.
I don't know what you're smirking at, Kate. As Sherlock Holmes said, once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth.
Which is what?
That the network of tunnels was excavated by a group of pygmy exchange students.
What?
It has been widely reported in the local press that St. Stephen's High School is presently hosting several students from an area of Central Africa renowned for its tribes of pygmies. The tunnels that Kate discovered were too large to have been dug by a mole or rabbit, but too small to be made by a normal-sized person.
But just the right size for a pygmy.
Exactly.
Seems like a plausible hypothesis.
Obviously, I didn't just base this theory on the fact that the local high school has a few Congolese visitors.
Obviously. So, what other evidence backs up your idea?
Well, pygmies are hunter-gatherers, and their weapons of choice are beautifully crafted longbows. Now, the arrows are made from bamboo, while the flights, or fletching, as it is more accurately called, is made of feathers.
Okay.
Now, the most prized feathers for the fletching comes from a large bird thought to be a symbol of luck by these pygmy tribes, the white-crested hornbill.
Let me guess. The tropical aviary houses white-crested hornbills.
Along with 15 other species of Central African birds.
Yes, but the tunnels open up right in the middle of the hornbill's nesting area.
And what makes you think the little people will be back tonight?
Well, we don't know for sure, but we checked on the hornbills and so far the feathers are intact.
Which would make most people rule out thieving pygmies.
Look, it's perfectly reasonable to assume that they hadn't managed to capture the birds on their first visit, but may soon return. Hence the stakeout.
To be honest, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, glad to hear it, Kate. I could bring a couple of flasks of coffee if you like.
Well, sounds good. Will there be donuts?
Of course. You can't have a stakeout without donuts.
It's just after midnight in the tropical aviary, where apprentice zookeeper Kate and security guard Ian have just finished setting up.
Head of security.
Oh, great. Are you going to be interrupting me as well?
Just a correction, that's all. You want to be factually correct, don't you?
Okay, big shot. How many security guards are there at this zoo?
3.
Plus you.
Including me.
So you're in charge of 2 others.
Well, Maddie's on maternity leave, so Steve's only filling in.
Sounds like you're responsible for a big team?
Are you being sarcastic?
No. Look, do you mind? I'd really like to finish this.
Excuse me, do I know you?
Oh, I don't think so.
Your voice is very familiar. Yeah, got it! Skippy. You do the advert for Skippy Peanut Butter, don't you?
Actually, I do.
I knew it! You've got a great voice.
Thank you.
This is peanut butter, unlike any other.
Skippy peanut butter. Smoothly satisfying.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah.
Kate, I think we need to let the narrator finish.
Sorry.
No, not at all.
No, I think I'd prefer it if you'd finish. We're in the middle of a stakeout here.
All right. Head of security. Apprentice zookeeper, Kate, and King of the security guards, Ian, have just finished setting up their surveillance equipment in the hope of solving the riddle of the burrows.
Not a bad size, this tent, for a pop-up.
Try and keep your voice down, Kate. Discretion is a vital part of surveillance.
Sorry. Can you see anything?
It's all clear at the moment.
Can I have a go with your goggle things?
All right, but be careful with them. They were quite expensive.
Wow, it's like it's daytime!
Please, Kate, quieten down.
Sorry. Why does everything look green, though? I thought they were infrared goggles, not infragreen.
Well, the monochrome image could be any colour, but
Did
because...
you bring the donuts?
Yes, I brought the donuts, but I'd rather you didn't eat them while handling the surveillance equipment. I don't want it all sticky.
Fine. Here's your precious goggles back.
Thank you.
So where are the donuts?
In that bag there.
What bag? I can't see. Oh, it's too dark. I think I need your goggles again.
Oh, for goodness sake. Here.
Why are you so tetchy?
I just don't think you're taking this seriously enough, that's all. This is an important covert operation.
Lighten up. You talk about it as if we're soldiers behind enemy lines.
These hunter-gatherers are highly trained killers and likely to be armed with poisonous blow darts.
Yes, of course they are. What sort of donuts did you get? Please tell me they're not all jam.
Half of them are jam, half of them are
All
custard.
in the same bag? I hate jam donuts. Why didn't you put them in separate... What was that?
There's something in the burrow. Quick! Get ready with the rope! Now, Kate! Pull up the net! Pull up the net! What the...
It's the next day, and Sheila, who is secretly in love with Ian, is keen to learn how the stakeout went.
What? Why did you say that?
This is a fly-on-the-wall documentary. The listeners like to hear these little details. Spices things up a bit.
Are you in love with me, Sheila?
I'll talk to you about it this afternoon. The narrator had no right to blurt it out like that. Who do you think you are?
She's the woman who does the advert for Skippy Peanut Butter.
Oh, you have recognised that voice? Well, I never. Skippy peanut butter,
Smoothly satisfying.
just like your voice.
Oh, thank you very much. Look, I'm sorry for revealing the fact that you're in love with Ian.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Awkward.
I think I'd better go now.
I think you better had.
The look on Ian's face last night when he realised what we'd caught.
Arnie the aardvark.
Yeah, I knew the tunnels weren't the work of pygmy exchange students.
Oh, Ian, you should have suspected it was Arnie. Aardvarks are excellent excavators, and it is not the first time he'd gone missing from his enclosure.
He didn't tell me that.
Ian caught him back then too.
When?
Before you started, early last year.
I remember saying to Ian at the time that he should have guessed he'd return, especially with a name like that.
How do you mean?
I'll be back. Oh, come on, Kate, keep up.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. So when did he escape again?
I put Arnie back into his enclosure that same evening, but he disappeared just a couple of days later. There'd been no trace of him since.
Weren't you worried that he travelled back in time in order to murder your mother before you were even born?
What?
Arnie, the Terminator? It's the plot of the original movie. Oh, come on, Sheila, keep up.
Touche. So what happened? How did you catch Arnie this time?
Basically, we rigged up a net at the tunnel's entrance, and as soon as he emerged, we pulled it up. You see, aardvarks like eating insects, as do white-crested hornbills. And with Arnie's keen nose, he could smell the insects at the hornbill's feeding station while outside the enclosure, which is why he burrowed into the aviary at that spot.
I see.
And we didn't have to wait long. I was just about to bite into my first donut of the evening.
What sort of donut?
Is that important?
Oh, I'm on a diet at the moment, and I'm living my life through other people's stomachs. Was it a custard donut? They're my favourite.
I don't know. I never got a chance to find out. It might have been custard, it might have been jam. They're all in the same bag.
In the same bag? But that's insane.
That's the kind of maverick detective I am.
Well, sounds like your stakeout was a success.
Yes, I admit I was wrong in my original assumption, but we solved the case and caught the culprit just the same.
Did you have to put handcuffs on Arnie the aardvark?
No, he came quietly. Oh, good morning, Peter.
Morning. You'll never guess what.
8 metres.
8 metres.
Sorry, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, you'll never guess what's happened to Arnie the aardvark.
Yes, we found him last night.
I know that, but this morning,
What?
he's dead.
Zoo Detective was written by Barry Wood, performed by Laura Miller, Barbara Ashworth, Courtney Trulos and Barry Wood.
A Rose for Jenny, a radio play by Mike Sokol, performed by Coral Dickinson, Obi Dean and Lenny Buick.
Today's inventory, Jenny?
126 items, sir, including the package, which I have taken steps to secure as requested.
Good. What other items have you received, Jenny?
Bicycles with repair motors, crock pots, dried fruit, vinyl records.
Which artist?
Some form of insect.
Beetles?
Yes, sir.
We will package them with the turntables you found. Anything else?
Feminine beauty products, as requested.
Razors too?
Yes.
Women want to look their best in the spring. Thank you, Jenny. Do you know what day it is, Jenny?
Tuesday, May 6th, sir.
It's your birthday.
You say that every year, sir, and I still don't understand.
Maybe more like your rebirth day. You were discarded. A used JNY 486. Top of the line model. I asked the supplier why. He said there were problems with your power source and programming. Both easily fixed. I do tinker a bit. You have to, in this business.
Then I should thank you, sir.
Which you also do every year, Jenny. Like clockwork. No, I thank you. 18 years of loyal service. Not sure what I'd do without you.
A clock, sir?
A rare collectible, Jenny. No one seems to care about time anymore, which is a pity. Time is more valuable than anything in this shop.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Rose and Garden.
German?
Like the way it sounded. And there are 36 other thrift shops in the neighborhood. I thought it might stand out a bit.
But the name did catch my attention for another reason.
Oh?
I need a rose.
Contraband.
Yes, I know.
State security laws in the aftermath of the Iowa prairie famine. Priority land used for produce, meaning that no one grows commercial flowers anymore. Haven't seen a rose for 10 years or so.
12 years to be exact, sir, as of this August.
I could probably get an artificial one.
It won't do.
Why? Who would know?
I would. Do you believe in tradition?
Some are worth believing in.
I'm getting married.
I believe in that tradition.
For the last 500 years, in my family, every bride has worn a rose.
Nice romantic touch.
My family has always seen the rose as a sign of commitment. I would be the first bride in my family's history not to follow this tradition. I don't want that distinction.
Well, that is a pity. But I'm just a humble proprietor. I know my place. I know the rules. I wish I could help you, but...
You can help me. You see, sir, I'm also a member of the security services. I run the logistics division in this district.
That would explain the uniform.
My team tracks every package that enters and leaves the city. Tedious work, but occasionally our computers pick up interesting patterns, and one in particular has caught my interest.
And that is?
Your annual package from Madagascar.
I see.
For roughly 20 years, you have received a package on this date precisely from Madagascar.
Vanilla beans.
I'm sorry, what?
My wife and I spent our honeymoon in Madagascar. Met a southern gentleman expat named Jim. He ran a bed and breakfast on the coast. Married a local girl named Shah. They were a delightful couple. Besides being a colourful host, Jim was a supplier, and he introduced me to the local vanilla beans that you couldn't get anywhere else in the world. They were extraordinary. After all these years, Jim is still in the business. He sends me the beans, and I bake a cake in honour of our late wives. Jim happens to be a widower too. Both women loved vanilla, and so do I. I'm afraid, Lieutenant, that you aren't the only romantic in the room.
It's a lovely story, Mr. Proprietor, and I'm sure it is true, but only one piece of the puzzle. Every year that package travels through Pasadena.
Oh, certainly, Lieutenant. I have no influence over the wisdom of our customs system. I believe it is an accepted port of entry.
It is. It is also curious that your package does travel to the only area sanctioned by the authority where roses can legally be grown for official functions.
Yes, an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, and not the only one. Do you know Edward Jimenez?
Jenny, is Edward Jimenez a supplier?
Searching records now. No, sir. I see no purchases involving Edward Jimenez.
Edward Jimenez is not a supplier. He's a customs agent who has inspected your package for the last 18 years in a row.
I see.
Do you know what Mr. Jimenez did before he joined the customs service? He was a farmer. His family still has a small patch of land. Somehow, I believe Mr. Jimenez secretly grows roses and puts one in your package. The vanilla scent serves to disguise the aroma of the rose as it travels through the system.
Interesting hypothesis, but of course, if it is accurate...
It's accurate. I've taken the time to validate all the details.
Then you have a problem. You could seize my package. That is in your authority, and you might find a rose. But I doubt your superiors will be sympathetic if that rose was to disappear.
Mr. Proprietor, let me make myself perfectly clear. I'm not here to seize anything. My request is placed before you with complete discretion. If you have a rose, I will ignore how you managed to get one. I'm willing to pay any price you name to acquire it.
For 56 years, I have made a living meeting the requests of my customers.
So meet mine. I'm desperate enough to risk everything.
You talk about family traditions, Lieutenant. I have them too. I used to give my wife a rose every year on her birthday.
But you said your wife was dead.
Some traditions are more durable than life. You said so yourself.
That is true.
My wife worked with me for 47 years in this shop. Inventory. No one was better. She had an impeccable taste. Could see inside a customer and know exactly what they wanted. And she could get it too. Every spring we would sell roses. People appreciated them, especially in those gloomy days. She would have never understood the new laws, but I will tell you, Lieutenant, she would never have broken them either.
But your attitude might be a little different.
Perhaps for the right reasons.
And my reason?
Is the right one, but not the only one. Sometimes our motives don't always align with the dictates of the state, even for those who might work for the state.
I'm a human being. This uniform does not deny that. I hope I've made that clear.
Perfectly. The human spirit is durable, Lieutenant, but occasionally it needs a little help from time to time.
What do you mean?
My wife died slowly. The water, the air, our industrial condition. It could have been all three. They ran all medical tests. They never knew why. But it gave me time to use my cerebral implant to capture her memories and her personality. A bit on the black market, I suppose. But I did a doctor a favor, and he did the same. My wife was, shall we say, amendable to the plan.
Which was?
I'm sure in your line of work you are not aware of the JNY 486 inventory control robot. It's very rare. Only a few of them exist on the market. Very complex for many shopkeepers, but highly customizable if you are willing to learn a little bit about its artificial intelligence.
Oh, you use the cerebral implant.
To create a highly involved infantry control robot. Please keep in mind that Jenny here is not my wife, but there are moments when she inadvertently says something that makes me forget that point. And there is one other customization that makes it particular model unique. Notice the power supply?
I don't see one.
I'm not sure why I did it this way. Maybe our sense of romance is stronger than either of us would like to admit. Jenny, please open the drawer. There are computer circuits that support the horticultural regeneration, which I was surprised to learn can provide a fairly dependable source of power. Every year I need a new rose to make the system work, but because Jenny's drawer is hermetically sealed, the rose stays remarkably reserved. Look, see for yourself.
Amazing.
Yes. It would be criminal to discard a rose that is in perfect condition, even if it is a year old. You can even get a hint of its scent. I doubt anyone would suspect its history, except the owner.
And you are saying?
I'm saying the rose is yours, if you want it, if it suits your needs. I have a container that will keep it preserved until you need it. I'll have to charge you for that, but accept the rose as my gift for your wedding, and in the spirit of romance, with one important caveat.
This meeting never happened, Mr. Proprietor, nor will records exist of your previous shipments. No one will ever know.
Always good to find a new friend. One could never have enough of them. Here, let me prepare that rose for you. This is a small airlock. Simply twist here to open. Outside the container, the rose should be good for 24 hours.
That will be enough time.
45 credits, please.
I can't truly believe this. This is a miracle.
I can only hope, Lieutenant, that the true miracle is that your marriage proves to be as fulfilling as mine was.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm curious about one more thing. I'm almost embarrassed to ask. Her name. You never mentioned to me your wife's name.
What a curious omission. Jennifer Rose. Her name was Jennifer Rose. Good day, Lieutenant, and good luck.
Good day, and best fortune to you and your shop.
Oh, you are such a silly sentimentalist.
Oh, Jenny, you've decided to override the artificial intelligence. Happy birthday.
Anniversary.
What?
Anniversary. You never got those dates right.
Oh.
I overheard everything. A rose-powered robot. Anyone can see I'm solar-powered.
Just having a little fun with the woman. A sticky spot, though. I need to talk to your brother about creating a little more variety in the annual customs process.
I don't like the danger I'm putting you in. I'm a robot. What do I need a rose for?
Oh, you forget the rose is for me, too.
How?
Oh, the petals remind me of your skin, and the scent is your scent. Do you really think the state cares about an old man trying to recapture an old love? Will you stay with me for a while longer?
Yes. And we can talk inventory.
Good. Like the old times.
I mean, really, darling. Crock-pots? Who cooks anymore?
All with false bottoms, Jenny, so our friends can hide items the authorities might consider subversive.
So, we're making progress.
If we can manage to smuggle roses through the system, imagine how we are doing with ideas.
True.
The cause did not die with you, Jenny. It will not die with me. Someone will always run inventory, and someone will always find a way to deliver the product.
Like JNY 486.
And an occasional lieutenant when her humanity is aroused.
Then you must keep on sending roses.
For as long as it keeps you in my heart.
New theatre written for radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Caravan Productions radio program series premiere of Little Howie, Our Hero, a program of intrigue, imagination, and indecency. We are pleased to have the talented Scott Denton playing the starring role of the world-renowned master of all, simply magnificent Little Howie. His co-star Katie Jean will bring the beauty, brains, and brawn of Sexy Jane to life. The other guy character will be performed by Jack Levine. And I, Julie Campbell, your editor. Our proud sponsor is Spray-It-On. Men, you no longer need to be bald or balding. With one spray in the morning, one just after lunch, and another spritz just before your date with your wife, girlfriend, or mistress, you will look like you need a haircut. And ladies, if you've been upset with your hair falling out, or rather thinning somewhat, you can make yourself look mighty fine. Pick up the Spray-It-On aerosol can in the now available colours of purple, pink, pastel, and polka dot. In today's premiere episode in the office of Little Howie, he is sitting in his big chair, behind a big desk, smoking a big cigar, as his cell phone rings.
I finally take a little break from all the good things that I do on a daily basis, and my phone rings. I can never get a chance to relax. They all need me. It never stops. Hello? This is the office of world-renowned, master of all, simply magnificent, Little Howie. How may I help you in your moment of distress? Yes, of course. Naturally. Without a doubt. You'll find me in my office now. You can recognize me because I'm sitting on a big chair behind a big desk with a big cigar. Yes, I'm the only one here. Okay, see you soon. Bye.
Hello, little Howie.
Oh, sexy Jane. I didn't know you were coming today. Is there something wrong? Are you in trouble? Do you need my help?
I'm being followed. I'm scared. Somebody is after me. I don't know who it is. I need protection. I need you, little Howie, to stand up for me.
I'm already standing up.
Oh.
Did you get a look at this guy?
I know he's tall and he has a mustache, but I didn't really get a good look at him. He was walking at least 50 yards behind me.
Can you quantify how tall he is?
Well, if you were standing on your chair, he's about twice your size, give or take an inch or two.
Okay, so he has to be 6 foot tall, give or take an inch or two. You said he has a mustache. What was the style? Was it Fu Manchu? Handlebar? Walrus?
No. It was El Bandito.
Oh.
Do you know this man?
What? Who? What did you ask?
You look terrified.
I am. I just realized I forgot to pick up my laundry at the cleaners. And now I'm clean out of underwear.
Don't worry about that right now. You gotta concentrate on the real issue here.
It's all about priorities and standards. Get up early in the morning, take the time to shower, shave, and dress up in a manner fitting for my position as world-renowned master of all, simply magnificent little Howie. I need clean underwear. Come in.
You! It's you!
Is this the guy that followed you?
Yes, he is.
What did you say?
Yes, he is.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Yes, this is the man.
Oh.
You little Howie?
It depends.
What?
I'm gonna powder my nose now.
Don't you dare go. I need you here. I mean, I need you to stay a while. You know, I might need someone to, just stay, please.
Well, what is it? Are you little Howie or not?
Why do you want to talk to little Howie?
I've been killing people almost every night. I need somebody to help me out, get me to make a bigger impression on the public.
It's been really, really nice meeting you, mister. I'm sorry, but I gotta go now. Bye.
Hey, don't go.
She's got to go now. To pick up my laundry at the cleaners.
Right. He's out of clean underwear. It's an emergency.
I should go with her. I will need to identify the underwear.
I want to show you something. It's in my pocket.
He has a gun!
We're gonna die!
Don't change your channel. We'll be back in a jiffy. Just a few words from our sponsor. Why look in the mirror and be depressed with what you see? There is no longer any reason for you to be bold or bolding, thanks to the revolutionary new products from Spray It On. You can have a full head of hair. You can also use our products for graffiti. So don't delay. Pick up your first can and spray away. Now, back to our program. Where did we leave off? Yes.
I want to show you something. It's in my pocket.
He has a gun!
We're gonna die!
What are you saying?
You have a hairbrush?
Yes, it's my new invention.
Your new, did you say invention of yours?
I didn't invent the hairbrush. I invented a new way to use it.
To kill people!
Yes.
Oh.
I'm totally impressed. I really am. I mean, I've never been this, like excited to see your new invention and all. But gosh, I'm afraid, as we said, little Howie and I to get going. Oh, nothing against you at all, but there's this emergency. I mean, little Howie, like you, I'm sure, needs clean underwear. Oh, I'm not saying you don't have clean underwear.
Are you drunk or on drugs or something? You're acting kind of weird.
Oh, no drugs or alcohol, no. Wait a second, come to think about it. I do have a big problem with drugs and stuff. I was just leaving to go to my therapist for my daily meeting with her.
I thought you had to go pick up his underwear.
Oh, sure. Yes, that's right. You see, yes, all right. My therapist runs a cleaners during the day and meets with people like me.
And me.
At night. She stays busy, but she always cleans the laundry really well, especially underwear, and gives great advice. I'll probably be cured, of my drug use and alcohol use and whatever. And little Howie will have clean underwear, which is important. So, let's go, little Howie, and get your underwear, and I can get some therapy from the laundry lady.
You can't go. I don't care about your underwear or your therapy or whatever else you come up with an excuse. I came a long way to see you, little Howie. Stop irritating me. I need to kill more people more often, and I need your help to do it.
We're going to die.
Don't change your channel. We'll be back in a jiffy. Just a few words from our sponsor. Spray-It-On will be opening up a whole new line. Our biggest request, besides people who have wanted more colours, is for different types of hair. So you can now go and buy spray for straight hair, mohawks, or curly hair. You just can't beat the purity, perfection, and price of Spray-It-On. So now, back to our exciting radio program. Where were we?
You can't go. I don't care about your underwear or your therapy or whatever else you come up with as an excuse. I came a long way to see you, little Howie. Stop irritating me. I need to kill more people more often, and I need your help to do it.
We're going to die.
You're right. The people were falling out of their seats. No kidding. I was really something. I was killing them left and right, one after another, and I was doing it with a hairbrush. Can you imagine that?
Oh.
I said I needed to powder my nose. You remember, don't you? And I don't think I can hold it much longer. I mean, I would need clean underwear if, you know what I mean, right?
Me too. I need to go. Really go, like now. I may need to throw up too.
I'm not going to say this again. Listen up. I need help to kill more people. You, Mr. World-Renowned Master of all, simply magnificent little Howie, are going to stop all of this malarkey and help me kill more people.
Well, now, it looks like you two just need each other, so I'm just going to leave, as you really don't need me.
Please stay.
I guess I'll stay.
Now sit down, both of you. I want to show you how I kill people.
I want to get my underwear.
I'm telling you, little Howie, I need you to take charge of this situation. You need to save me. You need to do something now.
Exactly. Listen to the lady here. She finally understands why I need help to kill more people more often.
No, not really. I don't, what you have in mind. Well, maybe I do know. Or let's just say you came here to talk to little Howie. So I'm just an extra person, and they say 2 is company, 3 is a crowd. So I'll be off now. Call me later, little Howie. I mean, if you can, or not, if you can't.
I made a mess in my underwear.
Oh, man. You didn't, did you? Really?
No worries. I'll take him, like we were planning, to the cleaners. We'll get his clean underwear and he will be good to go. We can come back here, or we can... we should concentrate on getting little Harry cleaned up with a nice, clean smelling underwear. It will make us all so happy. We need happiness. Happy, happy, happy. So, little Howie, let's go get you changed into some nice new underwear.
Will I get a rash in my tush? I don't want a rash. It'll be uncomfortable. Do you think I'll get a rash?
We can pick up some ointment or cream at the pharmacy on our way to the cleaners. If we rush out now, we should make it before they close.
You are both something else. All I want is some help to kill more people more often. So what do? Come up with excuses. Gotta go to the bathroom, gotta pick up clean underwear, get therapy, buy ointment or cream. Jeez, you smell. You really smell.
You're right. He does smell. Let us go and we can take care of this.
Well, go then. Go take care of business. I've had it with both of you.
Oh, you're an understanding man. And a smart man, too. Who invented a hairbrush. Imagine that. You're the best.
You really think so? You're not just saying that to make me feel good. Are you telling me the truth?
Of course. Why would I lie to you? I have no reason. Of course, the hairbrush scared me when I thought you had a gun. But no biggie. You were just showing us your new invention. And I'm impressed. Really. No kidding. Honestly. So you see, you made a big impression. A good impression.
I second what she says. Boy, you are the top banana.
Yeah, that's right. I am the top banana. I've been told that.
Do people tell you that before you kill him?
Of course not. I need to do my routine. Use my hairbrush. It makes them laugh so hard that they pee in their pants sometimes. Like you, little Howie, I suppose. Well, I've been doing stand-up comedy for a couple of years now, and I'm killing it with the audience. They love me. I need an agent now, and I just thought you would be the one for me.
You think I'm a talent agency? Is that what you think I run? You're not here to kill us. You only want someone to book your shows. Is that what you want?
Yeah, but not now. You smell. You've got dirty underwear. You need to go and get cleaned up.
Imagine that. You, a stand-up comedian, with a routine that uses a hairbrush? Your jokes must be funny. Maybe we should sit down and listen to his routine. I could use a good laugh.
What about the pharmacy, the cleaners, the therapist?
Oh, little Howie can go by himself. He's a big boy. Well, not really, but he can do it alone. I think I want to hear you tell your jokes with the hairbrush. We can then talk terms about me being your agent.
I like that. We could then go out for something to eat, maybe more. Who knows? This is turning out to be a great day.
Well, little Howie, aren't you lucky? You can go now and get your lotion and clean underwear. You can take a break and go to bed early.
Take my arm, sexy lady. We'll go out on town and enjoy the evening. And in the morning, we could talk about business. What do you say?
Yes, let's do it.
Bye, little Howie. You take care. Good luck in getting to the cleaners on time. And just to show you I'm not upset with you, I'll give you a free ticket to my next show with my new agent. A perfect ending to a perfect day. You just can't make this stuff up.
Bye, little Howie.
Hello? Oh, Mom, I'm glad you called. You see, I need a little help.
Well, all's well that ends well. I would like to thank our wonderful actors Scott Denton, Katie Jean, Julie Campbell, and Jack Levine. You have listened to the premiere show of Little Howie, Our Hero, in the first episode entitled I'm Killing Them, written by Jack Levine. This wonderfully entertaining show was brought to you by our sponsor, Spray It On, now with more choices to look the part as you want to look the part. Until next time, goodbye.
Are we off the air? Is this microphone off now? Look, somebody has got to write a script. I'm supposed to be the hero. The title of the program is Little Howie, Our Hero. You can't have the star poop his pants.
Wild types.
Why does the wolf howl in the forest? What is it that troubles this grey-haired beast? Do these trees harbour a great and terrible secret? Mistress Cephalopod disapproves of such questions. She disapproves of all of my questions. All that she wants me to do is obey. Yes, she is a good mistress, and she provides me with food, shelter, and a kind of love. Yet I yearn for something more, and I know that it's here, below the boughs.
Rex! Rex! Come here, boy. It's time to go home.
I want to stay here a while longer, mistress.
We've had a grand time in the woods today, Rex, but it's starting to get dark.
I understand that I'll have to comply with my mistress's voice eventually, but the sun has not yet set, and I have curious eyes. Usually, I locate a stick. This time, I find her. She sleeps deeply. I'm excited, but I don't know why.
I think she is a stray. It is curious that she does not have a collar. Yes, Rex, we will take her home. Atria betain casita.
Casita betain drupe.
Echo strata.
Atria betain fialte.
Would you like to practice your English, Master Komodo?
It all means, Mistress Cephalopod. As you can see, our sleeping prisoner has no collar, no implanted microchip, and her appearance is unlike any approved breed of human. Note the tattoo on her right wrist. This has been seen before.
You suspect that she is wild type?
I'm afraid so. I must examine this tattoo more closely.
Keep your tentacles off me, you slimy alien!
She speaks.
This one has spirit.
She's wild type, all right.
No inglesi giacca.
Echo strata.
Nothing gives me greater pleasure than when my mistress lets me go for her work. This means I can go outside without any supervision and just do the job that needs to be done. Today, I've come to the place where we found the woman. I've been ordered to water all the fruit trees using the mobile water tank and hose pipe. My good friend Whippersnapper's here to help me. He's not too bright and never questions why our world is the way it is, but he's very enthusiastic and performs his task with great gusto.
I'm setting these taps to maximum.
You don't have to spray the trees, not drown them.
When I water a tree, I want the tree to know it's been well and truly watered. So come on, Rex, open the floodgates.
One tsunami is served with her.
Excellent. This is the best. Apart from mating day, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to be your first time, mate. A few nerves are only natural. Speaking as someone who's had 5 tours of duty in the breeding facility, I can vouch that there's nothing to worry about. Besides, once you have got the job done, you'll never see your mate ever again.
Do you ever wonder who your father was?
You waste your time asking questions, mate. The secret to a good life is to simply accept the good things that are given to you. Speaking of which, I could do with a juicy apple. Hey, these are really good. Do you want one?
I have been trained not to eat between meals.
That's too bad. I wolf down every meal like it's my last.
Hey, whippersnapper, you see that in the ground?
Yeah? There's something sticking out of that wet soil by the tree.
And you know what that means.
Let's dig! I think it's a bone.
It's a skull. A human skull. There's another one. And another. What happened here?
I don't know, pal. I don't know. My stomach.
Whipper? Are you okay? Whippersnapper, old pal, what's the matter?
Atria casita jacka.
Betaine inglese fialti. Casita, betaine, echo, strata.
So you speak our language.
Like a native.
Then you know that we have questions. Will you cooperate?
That depends. I warn you to choose your words very carefully. Master Komodo has methods of persuading prisoners to talk that I find distasteful.
Mistress Cephalopod, have you gone soft in your advanced years? I fear that keeping a human as a pet has done you more harm than good. Whereas I am very experienced in performing vivisection on humans while they are still alive.
You have my cooperation.
Who are you?
My name is Ash.
And what were you doing in the forest?
Living. Living? The Earth is my home. It is you aliens who don't belong on my planet.
Insolence.
Echo Strata. You have a distinctive tattoo. It was seen on those who attacked one of our military installations.
We know that your kind don't operate alone. Where are the others?
If you take me outside, I will show you. Tread carefully, Master. This could be a trick.
I am your superior. Komodo. I can handle myself and the prisoner wearing restraints. Though, I agree we shouldn't take needless risks. Let us view the outside world. Open the window.
Very well.
Night has descended, and there is little to see out there except the stars.
You are forgetting something.
And what would that be, human?
The moon.
I'm driving home at top speed, and Whippersnapper is slumped dead in the passenger seat. I have no idea who his children are, and right now I have no idea about anything. Oh, there's the house. Mistress Cephalopod will know what to do. Mistress Cephalopod, a terrible thing has happened. What's this? The front door has been forced open from the inside. The house has been wrecked, and is that blood? Oh no, Master Komodo has been ripped apart. Mistress Cephalopod, where are you?
Rex, come here, boy.
God, what's happened to you? I'll call a physician.
Rex, sit and listen to me.
Whippersnapper's dead.
Pity. I liked him.
The water you gave us for the trees contained poison. He ate the fruit we'd sprayed.
I feared that this might happen. But Master Komodo insisted that we had to take action to kill the wild types.
Mistress, who are they?
What I am about to tell you now fills me with great shame, but you must know the truth. Many years ago, my people, my kind, invaded your planet. Of course, we encountered fierce resistance, and we responded in kind.
Hence the mass grave in the forest.
One of many, dear boy. Yet we did not wish to stamp out your race entirely. One of our scientists suggested that we could domesticate humans in the same way that your people had once domesticated dogs. We sought out humans who were not afraid of us, and in some cases even friendly towards us, the so-called aliens. We selected these individuals for survival and permitted them to reproduce sexually. Everyone else was culled. No, there were a few rogue humans who escaped capture. The wild types. After several generations of repeating our eugenic experiment, we succeeded in producing breeds of humans genetically hardwired to obey us, serve us, and perhaps even love us.
I should hate you for what's happened to my people, but I can't. My genes won't let me. Damn you!
That is where you are wrong. You were a stray pup, abandoned in the woods when I found you, and I decided to take you home.
Am I wild type?
Yes, Rex, you are. Deep down, you may have already guessed this. You are different from your friends, different from Whippersnapper.
So that's why I've always been so bloody curious about the world, about everything.
Domestic humans were bred to obey orders, not question them. You were always far too intelligent for that.
Did the woman do this to you?
Yes, but don't blame her for what she is, or seek vengeance for me.
Is she wild type like me?
We thought so. And we paid the price for being wrong. Humanity has evolved in another direction. Both my kind and your people should be afraid. But now I am thirsty, my boy. I need water.
Of course, mistress. I'll just fetch some cephalopod. No! Is there no end to this terrible day of death? I will bury my mistress, my mother. I will dig holes in the ground for Whippersnapper and Master Komodo too. I should leave behind a grave for me. My life, my former life, is over now, and a new one must begin. I need to find my real self, and the place to begin that search is out there, in the forest.
Wild Types was written by Alex Perry, performed by Rachel Barnes, Dave Collins, and Jez Nelson.
New theatre written for radio.
Episode 1 of Samantha by the Book, Literary Detective. Bridgetown, center of the universe. No, just some town in the middle of nowhere. But it's center of my universe. And I rule the Bridgetown Public Library. That's right, I'm the head librarian. That means I get the keys. And I get to lock up. And that's when the portal appears. That's right. By day, I'm head librarian. By night, I'm Samantha by the Book, literature detective. Actually, I'm the same person by day too. But at night, the portal brings characters from literature to my doorstep, and I investigate the crimes. When did it appear? One night, I was finishing up a grilled cheese with pickles I got from the local pub at my desk. At first, I heard something glimmering. And I looked up to see stars appearing close together in space. Clearly considering that I'd eaten some bad pickles, I threw my sandwich in the trash and investigated. As soon as I peered into the constellation abyss, out popped Lydia Bennett.
Oh, wow! That was some ride. I'm assuming you're Miss by the Book.
quite right. I am Sam. But how do you know? And where did you come from?
Well, the sign, of course.
And then she dragged me through the portal back into Pride and Prejudice. And as soon as we came through, we came to Meryton, where Lydia showed me a sign next to the portal that said Sam by the book, literary detective. Wickham had gotten into a little trouble, so my mystery skills were put to the test. Of course, Lydia wouldn't let me leave until I also determined if it was Mary or Kitty who took her new hat.
Mary always acts like she's better than everyone, but that girl totally takes what isn't hers.
But the larger mystery of who put up that sign was unsolved. I went back through the portal to find that others were starting to wait in line for me. I found myself a side hustle, and I am determined to figure out how this portal was made for me. But back to tonight. I hoped to lock up quickly and make my way home so I could visit my island friends on Animal Crossing when the portal popped open in front of me and out tumbled what looked like a cold breath of air. Can I help you?
Where am I?
My office. Sam by the book, literary detective at your service.
Oh, I thought it was bit he book.
No, by the book. Who are you?
Mercutio.
Of Romeo and Juliet? Capulets? Montagues?
No, I hate them both. They did this to me. They killed me.
You're a ghost.
What's wrong with that?
I just never helped a ghost before.
Well, are we really so different from anyone else? Aren't we people too?
Weren't you people too, you mean?
You mock the dead?
Of course not. What can I help you with, Mercutio?
Find my killer.
Wasn't it Tybalt?
He stabbed me, but it's a conspiracy.
Happy to help, but there's the issue of payment.
Payment? I'm a ghost. I don't have pockets to carry my gold.
Then I'm sorry. You'll have to find a portal to someone willing to do pro bono work.
And how many portals do you think there are?
Exactly.
Fine. Fine. Help me and I'll show you where my kinsman keeps his money. You can take from that.
Lovely. Let's go in.
Ow! Oh, does it always hurt that much?
Maybe if you didn't somersault through.
I can't control it.
Then it will probably hurt that much. So, suspects?
Tybalt had no beef with me. Why would he want to stab me?
'Cause you hang out with his mortal enemies, the Montagues?
Well, that's a reason to hold a grudge, but not to kill a man.
I mean, couldn't he just have missed his man? He was aiming for Romeo, right?
Look, Romeo flinched, and that's when Tybalt was able to stab me. It was a sign of some sort, like it had all been planned.
Do you want to start with Romeo or Tybalt then?
Tybalt.
So head to the Capulets?
Nope, not safe there.
For you? But you're a ghost. They can't see you, right?
Right. So, let's head to the Capulets.
A few moments later, after I trudged up some dusty, dirty paths with Mercutio coughing the whole way, we arrived at the Capulet gate. I rang the bell.
Last time I was here, it was at a party. Much better circumstances.
I'd say so. Wait, are you hiding?
The servant's coming.
She can't see. Oh, never mind.
May I help you?
Pardon me, but I'd like to talk to Tybalt Capulet.
Haven't you heard? He's dead.
Oh no. We're too late.
Too late?
Just had something important to tell him.
You can't now that those idiot Montagues killed him.
probably deserved it.
Thanks for your time. Where would we find Romeo?
Well, there's a pub he likes to frequent.
So, Romeo. I don't see anyone who looks like I imagined him.
Not here that I can see.
Let me check with the barmaid.
Hey, grab me a pint while you're at it.
Grab your own drinks. Did you just drink his beer?
He won't notice. It's hard to drink when you're a ghost.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
What can I get you?
Romeo.
Never heard of that drink.
No, Romeo Montague. You seen him?
Who's asking?
Samantha by... just a friend.
If you were his friend, you know he's had to run away after killing Tybalt. But his friend's over there in the corner.
Friend?
The girl he used to date.
Juliet?
Rosalind.
Oh. Put down that drink. Looks like Romeo's already headed for Mantua.
Mantua? Well, it'll take me forever to fly there.
I have another idea. Rosaline's here. She might know more about Romeo.
Oh, Rosaline, oh, Rosaline. Wherefore art thou, Rosaline?
So there's something between the two of you?
We were just trying to keep it casual.
Sounds totally casual.
Well, act cool, act cool.
She can't see you.
Right.
But you're making me nervous flying around like that.
I'll just sit back over here.
Pardon me.
Yes?
Are you Rosaline?
I might be.
I wanted to ask you a few questions. I'm looking for Romeo Montague.
Oh, that good for nothing.
I thought you two...
broke it off. He was a little obsessed, always pining after me. Give me some space, you know?
Understandable.
So what did you want?
Did you meet anyone after Romeo?
No, although rumor has it he already has 3 other girls.
3? My goodness! I hope you don't mind me noticing, but you blushed just then when you said no. There isn't anyone else?
Oh, may have been one man.
Did Romeo know about him?
Of course not. He couldn't. It's his friend.
Mercutio?
How do you know?
Just a suspicion.
Well, we had to hide because Romeo would have been devastated. But Mercutio was the exact opposite of Romeo. I'm not sure he cared at all.
And there wasn't anywhere he would have seen the two of you together?
Well, the only place would have been Juliet's party. Mercutio had snuck in and we made out behind some edges.
It didn't happen to be near Juliet's room, was it?
Oh, you know the edges then. Beautiful, jasmine and hidden from both the host and the servants.
Unless you happen to be on Juliet's balcony.
Right, but no one ever goes up there. Juliet's afraid of heights.
True enough.
You think Romeo knew?
I couldn't say. Thanks for your help, though. I'm gone for 2 minutes and you drank half the drinks here.
No, I haven't.
Romeo knew.
But what?
You and Rosaline.
No.
You made out with her where he could see you from Juliet's balcony, and he was none too happy about it, is my guess.
So, he did this on purpose?
Odds are looking favorable.
So, what now?
That's up to you. You can go get your revenge.
Ooh, I'm gonna haunt him.
Perhaps sleep it off a little.
Yeah. Well, perhaps I'll do that first.
After Mercutio showed me his relative's gold stash, I pocketed some coins and went back through the portal. And another case was closed. Who knew Romeo was more of a killer than he seemed? Thank you for listening to episode 1 of Samantha by the Book, Literary Detective. Samantha was played by Sarah Kesman. Lydia Bennett, Mercutio, Barmaid, and Rosaline were all played by Jean Berard. See you next time!
Today is my father's wake. All the family is here. I'm standing by his open coffin next to Jasmine, his second wife.
Why? Why did you leave me so soon? Why did you only give me 20 years of your life?
Technically, it's 18 years.
Whatever. He looks asleep.
Ugh. Are you kidding me? He slept with his eyes opened. Ew.
Yes, he had a condition in his eyelids. Seriously, how well did you know your father, Rose? It's called nocturnal legophthalmos. It scared the living hell out of me on our first night. He never realised he had the condition. I had to tell him.
You know, I've never slept with my father. Oh, they could have tried to close them, though. It's horrible.
It wouldn't have worked. It never did. I tried everything.
Someone's coming.
Oh, my deepest condolences, Rose. Jasmine.
Thank you, Uncle Phil.
My darling!
Oh, do you have to be so dramatic?
Is it too much, you reckon?
Yes. Can you not try and be more spontaneous?
I've never been a widow before. I'm trying my best.
You don't convince me at all. We should have rehearsed more.
Oh, yes. I'd like that.
We need to stay focused for when his solicitor approaches. He's a sharp man. You don't want to spoil anything, do you? Auntie Claire is approaching.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Was that better?
No.
Where can we rehearse more?
He looks as if he's watching me. He's freaking me out. He's looking at me the same way he used to look at me when I get into trouble as a kid. Everything I did was wrong to him. He never understood child's play. I believed he never played as a child. Whatever I do, he'd scorn me and ridicule me with the entire family. Whatever I do is never good enough. And not only as a kid. He'd always patronise me, being constantly backed up by his mother. They formed the best of despots together. Oh, I'm so glad you didn't have the pleasure to meet her.
So am I.
Man, this is fucking disturbing.
Tell me about it. He looks as if he knows what we've done.
Even in death, he looks stern, reproaching. Bloody hell. You're right. He looks as if he knows.
But how can he? We plotted it so well, sequenced it so well. No one found out and never will.
His dog would have, had he been alive.
Oh, yes, definitely. He wouldn't have let us get away with it.
I hated him. They always spent so much time together.
I always wondered how he could not feel the need to spend time with you. I never had children, and seeing you grow up into the strong woman you are, all by yourself, it made me so proud. I always longed to be with you.
Oh, do you really need to do that? Between you and him, I don't know who makes me more uncomfortable right now.
Oh, you'll have your inheritance soon, love. Plenty to feel more comfortable with.
Well, so will you. That's why you did it, right?
Money isn't everything, Rose. Particularly at my age.
What are you on about? You're only 47, Jasmine, and you're still a very beautiful woman.
Oh, you've noticed. That's something. Still, life is fleeting, girl. Love, however.
I'm truly sorry for your loss. He was a very generous man. You must be so proud of him. I just wanted to anticipate to you that he has left everything to the two charities he was very fond of. One for dogs and one for the conservation of wild flowers.
Oh.
Now, I'm afraid to say he didn't leave anything to you, Jasmine, but he did leave something to you, Rose. A very precious item that used to belong to your grandmother and to her mother, to her grandmother, to her great-grandmother, and beyond. In fact, it has been passed through your lineage for the last 3 centuries. I remember when it was given to her by her own mother. I actually signed the passage of property legal papers myself. It was the early stages of my career. What a great woman. Rose, you are now the proud owner of an exquisite full set of cutlery of the most refined silver. I'm afraid it seems to have no financial value anymore, but it had a profound emotional value for your father. Oh. Well, you clearly both need more time for mourning. I should be on my way. I will call you in the next few weeks to sign the papers. You'll have to come over to my offices to sign and collect the gift. Take care.
Oh, God. Come on, Rose. We still have each other.
The Gift was written by Catherine Lunagate. Jasmine was played by Sarah Bostock. Rose was played by Holly Davis. The Solicitor and Uncle Phil were played by Owen Pugh. And Auntie Claire was played by Coral Dickinson.
All in the Family by Tony Vale, with Ian Jelf, Gillian Ray and Georgette Vale. Bristol, the year 1800.
Oh, don't take on so, Millie. Here, wipe your nose on this.
Thank you. I can't help it, Mrs. Stanley. I don't know what to do.
It's a predicament you've got yourself into, that's for sure.
It's hardly ever doing, though, Mr. Ambray.
Agreed, Mrs. Stanley, but I fear that it will be for Millie to resolve.
It wasn't my fault. He forced himself on me. I tried to resist his advances, but he was too strong, and he was much aroused.
That is the trouble with the young gentlemen of today. They have no ability to control their passions in any regard.
Young gentleman?
You said it was Mr. Langford who did the deed. I assume you meant it was Mr. Langford Jr.
A typical assumption for a man to make, if I may say, Mr. Ambray. The girl has Mr. Langford Sr. to thank for the state she now finds herself in.
Mr. Langford Jr., he has made it known that he has similar desires of me, but he's not progressed them to the stage reached by his father.
That does put a rather different complexion on it.
Does it indeed? And why would that be?
Master Langford.
Hardly a master at the age of 24. Mind you, that his father is twice that age and also carries the same title is another matter.
So, what is to be done?
It's a matter for me and young Millie to ponder upon. I'm sure you have staff activity to administer, Mr. Ambray.
Indeed I do.
Now we can talk privately.
Will I have to leave Langford House?
Mr. Ambray and I will do all we can to make sure that doesn't happen. We need more staff in the house, not less.
Will I be allowed to keep the baby?
Do you want to?
Of course.
Well, then you'll have to get married.
But the father of my child is already married.
What do you think about marrying James?
He's already asked me.
Does he know about the baby?
No, that's none of his business.
It may have to become his business. It's not unheard of for a housemaid and a footman to have affection for one another.
He is rather handsome, but he's never tried to make advances towards me.
Still waters run deep, my dear. I think it might be time for you to view James in a rather different light. I can't believe you had the nerve to crawl back here after what you did to me.
Moira, don't be like that. It's water under the bridge, so it is.
It may be flowing nicely for you, Morris Norman, but it's still flooding over the road, as far as I'm concerned.
Doesn't brotherly love count for anything?
My account was down to the tune of £50,000.
But you survived it, haven't you? This business here must be worth a fortune, judging by the size of the companies you deal with.
So you've been keeping track of me, have you?
I could hardly avoid it, could I? Most of what you get involved with seems to result in hefty court cases. It's in recognition of your ability to solve a mystery that I've come back.
That's what I hate about you. You always knew how to get me to do things I had no intention of doing. Like that time when we were playing in the street and you convinced me to set fire to a dustbin so that we could see the fire brigade put it out.
I happened to have some matches. The dustbin was full of paper.
Have you really got something juicy for me to get my teeth into?
I'm sure you've got enough on your plate already.
As it happens, I've just managed to complete my latest assignment, so I have a bit of spare time in my schedule.
Are you sure?
Morris, will you stop messing about and tell me why you're here?
I've stumbled on something which could amount to a windfall for both of us.
Oh, don't tell me. You've discovered the location of the magic money tree.
I'm serious about this, Moira. This is an opportunity to explore our heritage and to unearth, well, a potential family fortune.
Well, get on with it then.
Right. You remember that old writing desk I took possession of when we cleared Mammy's house?
It was Grandad's, actually.
Well, I decided to get rid of it. And when it was being collected, well, it was dropped down the stairs and it shattered into a whole heap of matchwood.
The point being?
It resulted in me finding this.
A notebook? What's in it?
Have a look.
I think that's Grandfather's handwriting.
Yeah. You remember the letters he wrote to Grandmother before they got married? The handwriting in the notebook is the same.
The notebook was in the desk.
Yeah, there must have been a secret drawer.
Is this the key to the family fortune you mentioned?
Potential fortune. That's where your powers of deduction come in. There's a bit on the last page you should read.
No reason to despair, for you are a Langford heir.
The master will never fall for that.
He'll know it's a fabrication, but it will probably come as some relief to him that young James has accepted the responsibility of fatherhood.
But the boy doesn't even know Millie is with child.
That will be for me to sort out with Millie. In the meantime, it'll be for you to tell the master that Millie has been brought to adulthood by his footman.
But what if he insists on dismissing him? Or her, or both of them?
My guess is that he will use it as a means to mask his violation of the girl. I've arranged to meet Millie in her room after supper tonight to review our progress. You can join us then.
Oh, it was so lovely, Mrs. Stanley. James couldn't have been nicer about it. He was shocked at first. He thought I was teasing him, but When he saw I was deadly serious about getting married, he went down on one knee and asked that very question, just as if it was his idea all along.
Was that before or after you told him about the baby?
Oh, after. Well, he was quite angry at first, not with me, but with the master for taking liberties with me. He wanted to go upstairs and punch him on the nose there and then.
But you stopped him from doing that.
I told him what you told me to say, that this was the only way that we'd be able to keep working at Langford House.
And he accepted that?
I said that I didn't love him, heart of hearts, but with his patience and understanding, I could come to do so. Who's that?
Oh, that'll be Mr. Ambry. I asked him to join us. Hopefully, he'll have some good news. Come in. Mr. Ambry, Millie has been explaining how she has been progressing with one part of our plan. Do you have news of the second part?
I do indeed.
What's happened?
Mr. Ambry has let the master into your little secret.
What? I'll be dismissed immediately. So will James.
Oh, don't fret yourself, girl. Go on, Mr. Ambry.
It went exactly in the way you predicted, Mrs. Stanley. I explained to the master that Millie was with child and that James had asked for her hand in marriage.
Was he prepared to follow our your suggested path?
Indeed, he was. He said that as both Millie and James had proved themselves to be hard-working employees, he was perfectly happy for them to stay at Langford House when the child is born, provided that all three share the same room.
That's wonderful. I must tell James.
Do it quietly. I think that'll do just fine, don't you?
I never doubted it for a moment.
Good morning, all in the family. Miriam Master speaking. How can I help you? I specialized in researching family trees and tracing ancestors. Is that the advice you require? And you are? Morris Norman. Are you able to come to my office tomorrow morning? That's right, I'm on the second floor. Shall we say 10:30? I look forward to meeting then, Mr. Norman. Morris it is then. How intriguing. And you've got no idea what it means? No reason to despair, for you are a Langford heir?
None at all. That's my sister Maura and I, assume it's referring to a family descendant, but surely it can't be the Langford family.
You've not researched your family history before?
No. Do you think you'll be able to help?
Well, I'll take down as much detail as you already have, and then I'll get to work.
How long do you think it'll be?
Well, I'll give you a ring before the end of the week. Is that soon enough?
Excellent.
I've made a start on researching your family history, but there's still quite a bit of work to do to complete it.
It's good for you to have got this far in such a short time. We're very grateful, aren't we, Morris?
Yes, thank you, Miriam.
Well, I've had to make one or two assumptions, but that's par for the course in this job. I've gone back to the early 1800s in Bristol.
Why is that?
The Langford family goes back to the late 1700s. Joseph Langford was married to Maria Pargeter in 1775. They bought Langford House in Clifton, and it continued to be the family home until Joseph Langford's death in 1830. They had 4 children, Joseph, Lucy, Henry, and Abigail.
They were fairly well-to-do then?
Mr. Langford Sr. was a merchant, dealing in goods from all round the world.
And do you think it likely that we're descended from him?
It's hard to tell.
By 1800, Joseph Langford Jr. would have been in his early 20s. He would have had a household of staff, ranging in age from late teens to senior years.
Oh, you think he may have got his end away with one of the parlour maids?
Morris, don't be vulgar.
Well, it wasn't uncommon for employers to take advantage of the power they had over their employees.
This is beginning to sound more like Longford than Langford.
What else have you found out, Miriam?
I've looked at the parish baptisms for All Saints Parish of Clifton, and it shows that a boy called Arthur James Norman was born to parents Millicent and James Norman on the 10th of June, 1800.
Why is that significant?
Well, the baptism records for the child shows the occupation of the father as footman. I found a record of the marriage of Millicent Fordry and James Norman on the 25th of December, 1799.
They probably worked together in the same house.
An interesting assumption, especially when we know that they got married only 6 months before the child was born.
They had to get married?
Perhaps the lad decided to make an honest woman of her, or what if the lad wasn't the father of the child?
Well, I've checked the 1841 census, and all three members of the Norman family are mentioned, including Arthur, who was 41 by then. His parents are both 59. But checking the burial records, it appears that James Norman died in 1842.
What about his mother?
Well, Millicent outlived her husband by 5 years, died in 1847.
Arthur would have been 47 by then. That's quite an age to be living with his mother, isn't it?
Well, it was actually the other way round. Millicent was living with her son.
Have they managed to hang on to the house all this time?
Perhaps they were supported in some way by the Langford estate.
Well, there were several cottages in Clifton within the vicinity of Langford House.
Probably bought as an investment.
There's a bit of a hint from the last will and testament of Joseph Langford, who died in 1830. There's a clause referring to Millicent and James and their son Arthur being given permission to stay in a cottage on the estate until the occasion of their death.
Is this Langford's way of making amends for what he did to the young girl?
So is it possible that Arthur is the illegitimate son of Joseph Langford Sr. or Jr.?
Oh, it's possible for one or either of them to be Arthur's father, but that's definitely where your bloodline starts.
Well, Miriam, you've made a cracking start.
Thank you. I'm afraid that my initial progress started to grind to a halt shortly after our last meeting.
That's a shame. It all seemed to be going rather well.
I must admit that this has been an unusual brief for me, in that I'm used to tracing a family's history from the present day back to the point where the trail goes cold. But in your case, it began with a reference to the Langford family and required me to move forward from that era to the present day.
Are you not able to use both methods?
If it was possible to do that, Morris, Miriam would have done so. She's a professional in her field and a very good one by all accounts.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so, Maura. Unfortunately, neither route has led to me being able to track the family of Arthur James Norman beyond the Great War.
We know that great-grandfather was born in 1896 and survived the 1914-18 war. Are you saying there's no traceable link to his family and Arthur's future relatives?
I'm afraid not.
Then why the reference to there being a Langford heir in the notebook?
Well, it could simply have been a family legend. And I found a newspaper article going back to 1929 reporting that a Langford was declared bankrupt as a result of the Wall Street crash.
So there was no fortune after all?
The Langford estate would have had a fortune attached to it, but maybe not now. And anyway, I haven't really been able to link you to that family.
Well, there may not have been a fortune for us, but I do feel fortunate.
You do?
I'm glad that this little distraction has brought us together again.
We always did make a good team.
My thoughts exactly. Miriam, how would you feel about us working together?
Doing what exactly?
Tracing people's ancestors.
Miriam has done most of the legwork.
I was thinking of asking her to join us as a partner in our new adventure. What do you think, Miriam?
Miriam Moira Morris.
How about 3M family history investigations?
I like it.
I think this calls for another round of cappuccinos. I'll get them in.
That was All in the Family by Tony Vale. The parts of Hanbury and Morris were played by Ian Jelf. Mrs. Stanley and Moira were played by Gillian Ray. Millie and Miriam Masters was Georgette Vale. The music was composed and played by Max Dickinson. All in the Family is a Caravan Productions audio presentation.
And now on Caravan Radio, the first instalment of our new murder mystery, Deadly Moves.
Come on, Cowley. Don't take all day. We've got work to do.
Sorry, Inspector Barton. Took longer to ride out here than I expected. And I got a puncture.
Better late than never, I suppose. I did offer you a lift. It's a hell of a way on a bike out here to Rook's Farm. You're not one of those triathlon fanatics, are you?
It's about my carbon footprint, boss. I'm trying to cut crime and save the planet. Two-pronged approach, if you like.
Very commendable of you, I'm sure. Mind where you put your feet when you get off your...
Oh, whoops.
Just make sure you clean your boots when you get back to the station. Rightio, let's get cracking. This is your first crime scene, isn't it, Cowley? Your first murder?
Yes, boss. Is it just us?
It is for now. Forensics are on their way, so be careful not to touch anything. I'm going off to the milking shed to interview the farmer. You go over to the farm shop and talk to the farmhand. He found the body this morning, shoved into the freezer.
I'll get to it right away, boss. Do we know who the victim is?
No confirmed ID at the moment. It's a female, in about her 30s, I'd say. Can't make out any of her features, so I hope you're not the squeamish type, Cowley.
Don't think so, boss.
Don't go bothering looking for a murder weapon. I've already bagged that up for forensics. Farmer Rook found it this morning in the water trough. A nasty-looking piece of piping, still with some fragments of bone on it. Farmer says he's been doing his own plumbing work in the cheese-making shed, so the killer must have picked it up from there. There's something showy, almost staged going on here, Cowley. There was another murder last week, which we haven't got to the bottom of yet, so I'm damned if this one is going to get the better of me.
Was that the one on the high street? You don't think the murders are connected, do you, boss?
Before you get carried away and start thinking we're on the trail of Roxford answer to Jack the Ripper, I suggest you go off and gather some actual evidence. Go on, chop chop. Give me a ring if you find anything significant, or meet me back here when you've finished. See you later.
Excuse me? Excuse me? You're the farm shop assistant, aren't you? Sam?
Reckon so.
Can I have a few words? I'd like to take a look inside the storeroom too. Although we have to be careful not to disturb anything.
Reckon so.
I take it this is the chest freezer, the scene of the murder.
Reckon so.
I'll just take a quick peek inside to get the feel of things. Oh my God! Oh, that's awful! I think I feel...
You's looking at the wrong end, Detective. That's raspberry apple, that is. The plug's been pulled out and all the ice creams have melted.
Oh, yes, I see. It's this end, is it? That is nasty. The murderer made a pretty mess of her head, poor thing. What a way to go.
Reckon so.
You found the body this morning, Sam, when you opened up the storeroom.
Reckon so.
And where were you last night? Do you have an alibi?
I reckon I have one of those. Was with Daisy all evening till bedtime. We sleep over sometimes.
Can I talk to Daisy to verify this?
Reckon so. She's over there, in that field there, right by the fence.
Your alibi is a cow.
Reckon so. She's been unsettled since her last calf, so I keeps her company in the evening. She likes listening to the radio. Book at bedtime is her favourite.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Very helpful. Hang on. What's that? She's gripping something in her left hand. If I just prod it a bit, pass me an ice cream scoop and I'll see if I can fish it out.
Reckon so.
I've got it. This is unusual. I better ring the boss. Nothing to do with you, is it, Sam?
Reckon not.
Hello, boss. You said to ring you immediately if I found anything significant. Well, I've just found that the victim was clutching an object in her left hand. It's a chess piece, boss. Which one? It's a black horse, boss. That's the knight, isn't it? Is that you, Barty, dear?
Yes, Aunt Violet.
You're back in good time today. Give me a minute and I'll put your supper on. I've got you a nice lamb cutlet.
Sorry, Aunt, I'm not stopping. I've just come back to pick up a few papers. I've got a committee meeting at the chess club tonight.
Oh, Barty, are you sure you can't stop for a bite to eat? You can't exist on thin air, you know. Not even if you are a detective inspector.
I'll pick up a fish and chip supper on the way back. And Aunt, do try to stop calling me Barty. I'm not 12 years old anymore, haven't been for a while.
Sorry, dear. It's a habit I can't seem to break. It is a family nickname after all. So, if you're not stopping for supper, you can at least tell me how your day has gone. How's your new constable settling in?
You mean Cowley? A bit wet behind the ears and seems to be very keen on being green and all that malarkey. Roxford City's first eco-warrior detective. But bright enough, I would say. How's your day been?
Oh, the usual. Spot of dusting. 11s with Letty. And then afternoon tea with the Damponts. If I have another custard cream, I shall burst. Quite uneventful, I should think, compared to your day. Hasn't there been another murder? What is happening to Roxford? It's usually such a tranquil and civilised place.
Yes, it is a bit unsettling, Aunt. Oh, and remember, on no account talk to the press, especially to that nosy news reporter Jo Jericho. She's been on our doorstep once too often trying to get a scoop.
Talking of scoops, Barty, have you seen what's in the Roxford City Chronicle?
I've been rushed off my feet, Aunt, and you know I don't pay attention to the local rag.
But Barty, dear, the latest is that there's going to be a retrial of that nasty gangland boss you put away.
You mean St. Clement's? Juice St. Clement's? Don't worry, Aunt, it won't come to anything. He's a proper villain, is Juice, and deserves not to see the light of day for a very long time.
Doesn't he have underground connections with the Raffia? He could pull some strings in high places and...
Aunt, you do have an overactive imagination. Juice St. Clement's may well have a few underworld connections, but it's not on the scale of that mafia. Not here in Roxford City. At least I don't think so.
That is very reassuring, Barty. Just switching on for the news. You don't mind, do you, dear?
Go ahead, Aunt. Must make a move soon. It's my first committee meeting as the chair. Don't want to put anyone's nose out of joint, especially the ex-chair, Harriet Hinksey.
Hinksey? Harriet Hinksey? Isn't she that awful red-faced shouty person? The one you beat at the annual chess tournament last year?
And I beat her the previous year too. Still, all's fair in love and chess, isn't it, Aunt Violet? Any game has winners and losers.
Well, yes, Barty, but not everyone is a gracious loser. Win with dignity and lose with grace, as your dear departed father used to say. Bless his soul. Oh.
Now, Aunt, don't go getting all maudlin. Flippin' ferrets, is that the time? I must go. Don't wait up.
Excuse me.
Welcome to the glorious Games Emporium. How can I help you?
I was looking for the proprietor.
I am the proprietor. I pride myself in giving a very personal service. Now, what game are you after? I stock all the classic board games, the proper games, not a console or extension pack in sight. Is it for a gift?
Actually, I'm a reporter. Joe Jericho, Roxford City Chronicle. I was hoping we could talk about a feature I'm doing on the changing face of retail in the town centre. What with the demise of the traditional shops and so on. If you have the time, of course.
You're a reporter. I don't usually talk to the press. In fact, I rarely talk to anyone these days. Everyone seems so swallowed up by all that social media, online noise, that no one bothers to stop by for a chat, much less buy a board game. Still, it's their loss, isn't it, Rubik?
What I actually wanted to get at was the angle of the shopkeepers themselves and how the boom on online shopping is affecting business, adding additional pressures to an already struggling marketplace.
You want a sob story, is that it? Something that will make people feel sorry for me?
No. I mean, people respond more to a human story.
You want me to tell you a human story, is that it? Shall I tell you what's happened to me and my business? A business that I've built up over the years, over the decades, that I've poured my heart and soul into, not to mention all my profits or my savings. And for what? For a paltry one customer a day if I'm lucky, exorbitant rent increases, and to be vilified as old-fashioned by the public.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I can write...
Well, Joe Jericho news reporter, if that's who you are. You are not to write anything about me or my glorious Games Emporium. Leave. Get out now, before I get Rubik to scratch your eyes out.
I'm sorry. I can see this is not a good time. I'll come back another day.
Well, what do you make of that, Rubik? The demise of the traditional shops. What utter tosh. Nothing and no one can match the cunning and excitement of true artists engaged in a game of wits. Come now, Rubik. Where is my chessboard? Let's see, where was I? Have made my opening moves. What next? Can't be too easy. There would be no challenge in that. Aha! That's it. That's a real puzzle. That should be my name, shouldn't it, Rubik? The Puzzler. Not now, Rubik. You'll have to wait for your milk. I've got work to do. Cowley? Over here.
I'm so pleased I found you, boss. Sorry to interrupt your evening, but something urgent has cropped up. I couldn't get hold of you on your phone.
Sit down, Cowley, sit down. Take a few moments to get your thoughts together. And I suppose I should have told you, when it's committee night at the chess club, I'm usually incommunicado, as it were.
I did have to be very persuasive, boss.
So what is it you need to tell me?
There's been another murder, boss. This time at the Big Sleaze.
That's the nightclub, near the bus station, isn't it? What was the modus operandi of the murderer this time?
Pardon, boss? Modus who?
I mean, what particular method did the killer use this time? The distinctive features?
Oh, yes, I see. The victim hasn't been identified yet, but it's a young female, and it appears she was strangled by some sort of ligature. We think maybe the window sash cord from the ladies' toilets. This is the third unsolved murder on our patch.
I'm well aware of that, Cowley. Now, let's just think for a moment. The victim was a young female, you say, dressed in sports gear. Do we know what colour the clothing was?
Black, I think.
Don't you see?
See what, boss?
The 3 murders are linked. You were right. We do have a serial murderer on our hands, and a fiendishly clever one at that. Do you see the connections, Cowley?
I don't really know, boss.
Think, Cowley, think. The first victim was a male dressed in a black tuxedo, found in the storeroom of the Are You Broke pawn shop. The second victim was a female dressed in a white nightdress, found in the freezer on a dairy farm, Rook's Dairy Farm. And this third murderer is a female dressed in black, found strangled in the toilets of the Big Sleaze nightclub. These are all chess pieces. The villain is using people and places like in a game of chess. Come on, Cowley, let's get going. We've not a moment to lose. We need to let this fiend know that playtime is over.
Will Barton and Cowley find the clues to the next murder in time? Will they be able to foil the cunning instigator of the chessboard murders? And just how many custard creams can Great Aunt Violet eat in a day? Deadly Moves was written by Sue Lyons and performed by Julianne Barrett and Claire Waite Brown.
You've been listening to Caravan Radio.